So a lot of people ask me about what to eat. What are healthy foods, what's okay, what's not, what's best to lose weight. So I just thought I would take a little time and share. I've done a lot of grocery shopping this weekend. On bikini competition prep, I have to make sure everything is bought, ready, cooked, available in my fridge so that I don't end up eating things that don't really fit into my meal plan. So I just thought in that process I would share what I have bought and just some good healthy foods, good choices. A lot of people aren't sure what to get when they go to the store, brands, different things. So these are pretty basic. I mean, this is gonna be kind of staples for a clean, healthy diet for something like a competition prep. You can be a little bit looser in daily life, but if you're looking to lose a few pounds, tone up, gain some muscle, these are some pretty ideal foods that are full of nutrients. They have good healthy fats, or they're really lean sources of protein. They don't have a lot of sugar or anything like that in them. So really good staples for a diet. You can kind of dress up and do different things with if you have some freedom and you're not doing something like a competition. Or if you are doing something like a competition, these are great foods. Or if you just want to eat like you're doing a competition so that you can look amazing. If you kind of want to shred down in 6 weeks or something, there's some great foods to eat. So let me show you what I have purchased lately. Alright, so to start out with, here's the big pile of food I've got to show you. So this is sparkling water. I've got a fridge full of this stuff right now. I also drink a lot of Arrowhead, which is cheaper. So I love sparkling water because there is nothing in it, no sodium, no nothing. It is just carbonated water, which to me makes water a lot more interesting. It keeps it from being boring, and when you're supposed to be drinking like a gallon a day, it's hard to do that, which is also part of why I have this freaking huge cucumber right here from Trader Joe's. I bought a cucumber just to kind of add in for, into snacks, but also just to cut up slices and stick them into water, which just helps enhance the flavor a little bit, make it a little bit more interesting. So that's what that is for, that I would strongly suggest. It's also great for just dipping into things like hummus, which is a great healthy option. And then I have edamame right here. So this is just kind of quick cooking again, Trader Joe's. What I was looking for on here is it's almost no sodium, it's just 10 milligrams in a half cup. High protein, high fiber, and no ingredients except soybeans. You want as few ingredients as possible in your food, so that's just a good source of protein. And then this is frozen salmon right here. So it's just a little bit cheaper and easier to buy than the fresh stuff. So I'm going to defrost that, and I like to do that when I'm doing a little bit higher fat days and doing a little bit lower carbohydrate days, which I do a few days a week. That's just a really good source of natural, healthy fat, high protein, great to combine with vegetables like asparagus. This is going to be dinner tonight, a salmon and asparagus. So I do a lot of frozen fruits and vegetables, as you can see, just because I don't go through them very fast. So it's this is as good as you can get, much better than canned. This is, frozen is pretty close to fresh. It's as good as you can get, it's close to fresh. So that's why I do frozen, just so it lasts longer and I don't end up throwing things out and things going bad. Frozen blueberries. I am not eating a whole lot of fruit on prep, but I'm doing a little bit of blueberries with Greek yogurt to add some flavor, or I'll add a few into my oatmeal in the morning every once in a while on a higher carb day. So just a quick tip with the blueberries, one thing that I like to do, because I'll have Greek yogurt for a snack. So I like the frozen blueberries, because then if I take them out and mix them in with my Greek yogurt, then by the time I eat it later in the day, I'll usually take it to work as a snack, then they kind of, they melt down a little bit, and so the juices start to run. So it adds a little bit of liquid to Greek yogurt, which is really thick, so it helps kind of expand it and make it a little bit easier to mix. And then it adds just a little bit of a sweetness in there. And then I'll just add like a little bit of stevia or maybe some protein powder, just to help give it a little bit of extra flavor, since Greek yogurt is pretty plain and boring. So that's just a quick tip and why I like using frozen. And then just, I'll show you real quick, there's my Greek yogurt. So you can use full fat depending on your diet. I just have the 0% non-fat plain Greek yogurt. This is flaxseed meal, just flaxseed to add in for some healthy fats. Especially right now, I have to be careful of saturated fats and unhealthy fats or high sodium stuff. So I just have flaxseed meal to add into like oatmeal or smoothies or whatever, just to get in some healthy fats. Lemon juice I just add that into my water every morning just to help with pH balance in the body, get a little vitamin C. It again just adds some good flavor. That can be mixed again with like cucumbers into water just to make it taste a little bit better. I also use this for cooking sometimes, like with the fish, with salmon, with chicken, just to help add moisture without having to add a lot of like oil into a pan, things like that. Then these are avocados, just again a really good source of healthy fats. So doing a lot of that right now on prep, trying to kind of cut down on things like coconut oil, olive oil, trying to keep it pretty simple and clean, easy to process fats. Peanut butter, just total addiction. I eat a lot of different types of peanut butter. So this is one you have to be really careful with peanut butter. It's very high in calories. It has sodium in it, but I only get the natural stuff. So no, it's just peanuts and salt, nothing else. So don't get the stuff with sugar, with partially hydrogenated stuff. Just plain, even better, get it without salt. This has it, so I only eat maybe a tablespoon a day, sometimes more, usually less. I try to be very careful with peanut butter. I know a lot of people just completely cut it out because it's so easy to overeat it, and I probably won't do a whole lot more of that in coming weeks as I kind of cut down on sodium a little bit. And then coconut oil spray or vegetable spray. This is just, I use this for cooking everything, eggs, chicken, whatever, so that I don't have to use much oil when I cook. And then oatmeal, that's pretty much like every morning for the most part. Another just good, clean, healthy carbohydrate. Again, you want your foods really plain. So all it is oats. That's it. And there's no sodium in this. Just very basic. So if you get like the instant oatmeal in packets, that has added sodium, sometimes it has more sugar. So something like that, it's just oats, just very plain. And then I'll add in something like protein powder, like this one, which is, I really like this. It's a super sweet flavor. If you like sweet stuff, it's very sweet. So I add that into oatmeal and protein pancakes and stuff, just to add a lot of really good flavor without having to add sugar and stuff like that. Again, so BCAAs are amazing for recovery, for helping you to kind of push through, work a little bit harder, and to spare muscle. This is really key for protein synthesis in your body. You want to make sure you have plenty of BCAAs to help spare your muscle, especially something like prep, when you are trying to cut weight but keep muscle at the same time. So I use those usually before, during, and after workouts, and then I'll have some during the day too. Mostly just because during the day it really helps again with water intake. It makes water taste really good without having to use a bunch of like fake sweeteners and stuff like that. So I use that a lot during the day just to make water a lot easier to drink, a lot more enjoyable. And then just total staple of any good healthy diet is boneless, skinless chicken breast. So again, I get frozen just so it lasts longer. Like this is a huge bag from Costco. I can't go through chicken super fast, so I'll just cook up enough for maybe 3 or 4 days at a time, and then take more out when that's done. And then this is a huge bag of sweet potatoes. Again, just another staple of a good healthy diet. It's just a great, clean carbohydrate. So those are kind of the staples of my diet right now. I mean, there's some other stuff in there, but those are really the main things that I'm eating, along with like things like brown rice and maybe like a lean steak or ground turkey sometimes, and then a variety of other vegetables. I'm eating way more vegetables than that right now, but again, mostly frozen or things like mushrooms that I can go through pretty quickly. So hopefully that's helpful. If you have other questions about types of food to eat or brands or what to look for, feel free to leave a question here and let me know. I have lots of good tips and tricks for how to make seemingly boring foods like this taste good and be enjoyable. That's huge for me. That's like the only reason I can do a prep, is because I don't eat just plain grilled chicken with a side of broccoli and a side of a baked sweet potato. Like, that's so boring to me. So I add a lot of flavors, or I'll mix in other things like avocados or Greek yogurt or different flavors, or come up with all kinds of crazy combinations to keep food interesting. So that's key, is trying to take these things and substitute foods that you love, or add some things into them to just change the flavor a little bit to keep things enjoyable. Because if it's not enjoyable, you're not gonna stick with it. So if you have any questions on that, let me know and I will be happy to help answer them. So I'm gonna just show you real quick an easy, great recipe for just a fast, healthy breakfast. I am personally not a huge oatmeal fan, but I've found ways to eat it that I enjoy, and my favorite right now is overnight oats. So there's no cooking involved, super easy. You just throw some things together real quick, stick it in the fridge, and then it's ready to go in the morning. I usually will just pop it in the microwave for maybe 30 seconds to a minute, depending on how much time I have or how warm I want it to be. Really quick, great way to get in a lot of nutrients, great for pre or post workout, and it tastes amazing. So there's a lot of recipes that I've seen for overnight oats that are pretty hearty. There can be a lot of ingredients in there. There's a lot of like Greek yogurt. Some people add sugar, things like that. So I've kind of stripped it down, trying to make it as clean as possible. But it still, to me, has a lot more flavor and kind of a rich, thick, yummy, sweet texture that normal oatmeal won't have. So these are the ingredients. All right, so I'm just using old-fashioned oats, just generic store brand. All right, and then I'm gonna use Almond Breeze unsweetened vanilla, which is awesome because it only has 30 calories, no sugar, and low sodium. So I think some recipes will use just regular milk, maybe non-fat milk. I don't do regular milk, I just do almond milk. And then I'm gonna use a little bit of protein powder. Anything really works well in this that's flavored. I'm currently using PE Science Select protein, and it's snickerdoodle flavor, which is amazing. And then I'm just using a tiny bit of flaxseed, just to get some healthy fats in there. And then gonna use a little bit of plain non-fat Greek yogurt, and then a little bit of cinnamon. And I just stick them in a mug. Most recipes call for using a mason jar. I just stick it in an old mug because I don't have a bunch of mason jars and it still works well for me. So here's what you're gonna do. All right, so we're just gonna throw this together real fast. So it is a half cup of oats. This is a 1 cup measuring spoon. I'm just doing about half because my half cup is dirty. So just kind of eyeball about half. Dump that in the mug. And this does not have to go in any particular order. Just gonna throw in a whole bunch of cinnamon for flavor. And then this has a little bit of sugar in it, and I don't want to put too much in. I usually just do about a half teaspoon. I don't want it to be overpowered by blueberry flavor, so it's really just in there for the healthy fat, so I only use half a tablespoon. A serving is 2 tablespoons, so half a tablespoon is probably like 25 calories. All right, and then I'm gonna do, normally you measure out this, pretty much the same amount as milk as there is water. I'm doing a 1/4 cup of almond milk just to keep it light, and then a 1/4 cup of water. There's hardly any calories in almond milk, so it's really not a big deal, but I just try and keep it a little bit lighter on the calorie side because a lot of times I'll have some of this for pre-workout, so I don't want too many calories in there, just kind of some clean carbs to get me energized. But you can do a full cup of that, or a full 1/2 cup. I just split between the two. And then I do about an ounce, 3/4 ounce of Greek yogurt. I will do a little bit less than a 1/4 scoop of protein. So basically just enough to add a little protein and flavor. I put it in there mostly just for the flavor, and just to get just a little bit of protein in there to even out all those carbs. And to me, the flavor from a protein powder just makes it taste amazing. It totally changes the taste of it. So even if I'm having instant oatmeal, I will still add protein powder to it because it just totally changes the flavor and kind of gives it a creamier texture. And then it basically looks like this. It's a little bit messy, but it's just kind of a creamy oatmeal. And then I'll just usually cover it with a little plate or saran wrap or something, just to so it doesn't dry out in the fridge. And then I'll just stick it in the fridge. You just need to leave it in there about 8 hours. Could probably do a little bit less too. And then it's ready to go in the morning. That's it. No cooking. It takes like a minute to throw all of that together. Super easy, tastes delicious. And then you can experiment with all kinds of other flavors. I've done it with chocolate protein powder and a little bit of cocoa powder. And it makes this like amazing chocolatey flavor. Sometimes I'll put pumpkin pie spice in there with the cinnamon, maybe add a little bit of vanilla flavoring, or just use different protein powder flavors. So there's a bunch of different flavor combinations you can do with this, but that is currently one of my just go-to breakfasts. It's a great post-workout too because of the high carb content. So sometimes I'll have that with maybe a couple of egg whites. So try it out. Let me know if you enjoy that. Or if you have any other great recipes, flavors that you found that you like, please share. Comment on here, maybe share your thoughts, opinions. Would love to hear it. And I will see you here again soon.